Hello, welcome to Tasty Classics Breakdown. I am here with an old friend. Here she is.
Hello, you cheeky bastard.
This is Steph from Idriveaclassic, who works here at ADO Restoration, where my Morris Traveller is. Well, it's not all my Morris Traveller. This is a car that I own. Well, this is some of a car that I own with Aled, who you may have seen knocking about in the background of some of the other videos. He's a joiner and he's been my best mate since we were about 12. And we have both bought this car. We're into it. We bought it a couple of years ago and we started to restore it. And what happened was that we got far too busy with our lives. I got too busy doing other stuff. He got too busy doing other stuff. On the normal Tasty Classics YouTube channel, I can't do full nut and bolt restorations. They take too long. I need a professional to do it. Yeah, so the idea was that we would send it up here for Steph and the guys here at ADO Restoration to go through and to hopefully sort of put it back together. But we've come here today because it's not good news. Right, this report is extensive. Multiple pages. We've come into this room as well because it's warmer and it's going to take us a while to go through this, so go and get a cup of tea and sit comfortably. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say to you that if you had all the money in the world, you could do this. But I think that, and we get so many different people here, we get people that want to spend more money than the car's worth because it means a lot to them. And then we've got people that perhaps don't want to spend that amount of money because whilst they love the car, it's just not worth that level of investment. So family heirloom you might spend it on, but something that you don't have that attachment to. Now, look, this is a horrible conversation to have with you.
Well, full disclosure, we've already had this conversation on the phone. And yeah, like, because it's only half my car.
Yeah.
I can only half care, and the thing with Aled, it's going to be super expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that burden on him. No. I don't want that burden on me. I've just moved into the new workshop. It's going to be so much money to pour into something that realistically you can get a nice one for like 6 to 10 grand.
I sent you a link on WhatsApp yesterday.
You did, yeah.
It was a very nice car, and it had a 1275. So,
was another Traveller. And was it 4 grand?
Yeah, it was 4 grand, 1275.
4 grand on the road. So it's just like, yeah. So the idea of it coming here was to essentially, because it was going to be used. So I have got a bar as well, as you may know, a jazz bar, and the car was going to be used. We were going to paint it in sort of yellowy colours. We were going to match the bar, and we were going to use it as our jazz bar sort of marketing thing where we just use it as a car. It'd be great. Aled could use it, I could use it. And we wanted to get it right because it wouldn't just be us driving it. It'd be some of the staff that work at the bar. And these are people that don't know classic cars. They've not really used classic cars. So it had to be right. So I wanted to send it up here so it could be out of our hands. Aled and I can pay for it, all that sort of stuff. But you have essentially, well, yeah, written it off.
Oh no, that sounds dreadful. Okay, let me skim it. So lower radiator cowl panel and both near side and offside tie plates are completely rotten and need replacing. Middle cross member, always a bit of a job where the torsion bars mount is very rotten, both offside and near side, for about 50% of it either side. The jack-in points are so badly corroded they're unusable. I mean, at this point that feels like a drop in the ocean. Every single, and this is so important, every single component of the sills, inners, outers, strengtheners, closing panels, etc., down the entire length of the car are rotten. So at that point, we would recommend replacing every single panel in the sill assembly, as not one piece is worth saving or repairing, because all the panels are available. So Morris Minor, you can go and get all your bits, and it's a fantastic car to restore from that perspective. So really at that point, it's then cheaper to do the new panels than try and repair what's left of it.
Of course.
Near side floors rotted out where it meets the inner sill, so that's going to need doing. Rear near side inner sill to floor inside the passenger compartment is badly rotted. Rear inner arches are beyond saving. Rear floor, rear doorstep have been poorly welded in the past and patched. I did check. Was it you? Was it you?
No.
I did check before I said that.
The only bit I did on the car was because when we got it, the rear doors were falling off. So we redid the rear doors, and there was a black panel that runs along the bottom of the rear doors. That's the only panel I welded on the car.
Okay.
So you can skip that bit when we come to it.
So we've got the little treat of the expanding foam. That's to come for you.
So that is finding that. That's pretty much nailing the coffin for me. Finding that is just rough. It's not something I can't put, like, people from the bar. I can't put them in that car knowing that it's got all this. It wants completely tearing apart. And I know, like, I restore cars on YouTube, but what you're seeing on YouTube is 2 weeks of me taking a car that's a non-runner and getting it back on the road. I'm not doing this depth of restoration. Full nut and bolt stuff. It has to be like that. Will take. If you started this car now, you're looking at weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of work just to get it solid. And then you've got to do all the mechanicals. You've got to do the paint, the interior, the trim. It's months of work. When I've done, bare shell restorations before. I did my Mini, helped Rob with his MX-5, which he still hasn't finished. That's been going for 10 years. The Mini took me an entire year to do. It's not so you guys would get bored of watching this thing. I would have to pay you. Do you want to say roughly how much we sort of came to?
It would be 5 figures, and I think that it would be remiss of me to try and put a figure on it, because there is so much involved in this and there are so many variables. So what I would say to a client is really we need to be looking upwards of 10. Now people at home might say, well, that's astronomical, but when I look at the parts list here alone, I estimated that, and I sat there and I added up every single part for you. It's 4,600 plus VAT plus postage. So straight away, we're halfway to 10.
Yeah, and then you've got VAT, you've got all that sort of stuff. Everything that comes out of it is just, it's a huge amount of things like parts and VAT and other costs of running a big place like this before you even get down to paying the staff. So it's just going to be this cost of restoring this car where we could go out and buy another one.
Yeah.
And this one potentially now, well, I think not potentially, it definitely is. Hopefully all the parts that are good on it and all the stuff that we bought for it, like bits of brand new wood kit and that, can go on to help other cars. Yeah,
I mean, for full transparency, as you knew when you brought the car in here, our labour rate is £62 an hour plus VAT. And so, I mean, there's more than 100 hours in here. So people at home have got calculators, they can work out the numbers themselves. And so restoration isn't for the faint-hearted. And that is why I recently said to people, it's much cheaper to start off with a better car
100%.
And do little bits rather than going in and trying to cut in. But I mean, just skimming some of the other bits, inner wing panels, offside front bumper stud, at that point another drop in the ocean. Realistically, I thought it might be game over for you. It wasn't the expanding foam that did it for me. It was the A and the B pillars that needed sorting out.
I remember seeing the B pillars and someone had done some welding on one of them, which was just like this bit of angle bar. And I remember seeing it, and at that point then, because both sides were so bad, there was no reference point for me. I've never done this before. I don't know what that's supposed to look like. So it'd be so much harder for me to do. So I was like, we'll give it to you guys, because you guys have lots of these cars around you. You do it day in, day out. So like, it was very, very difficult for me to move on with that myself. So it had to go somewhere else. And you guys, I can't like do a full nut and bolt restoration on a car on YouTube. It's just not possible on my own. No. The channel would go. Nobody would watch it. After 12 episodes of welding A and B pillars, you'd get very bored, and that's how long it would take. It would take forever. So it's one of the reasons why I do the kind of cars that I do, and turn them over a little bit quicker, is so it is more fun and more enjoyable to watch.
I think, if anything, this is a really valuable demonstration of what a true restoration costs and what's involved in it, because you can just be slamming money into some of these cars and you can be thousands of pounds in, and to the untrained eye there's not much difference because all the money's gone into the floor, which is what would have happened here. I mean, your woodwork as well, every single piece of original wood had dry rot. We looked at what you'd supplied, because some of the wood you'd supplied as bits and pieces, but to try and buy some of the bits that you had missing and all the rest of it, it then ended up cheaper to just go and buy another kit. And then all your aluminium panels for the rear end were badly corroded, couldn't be repaired because they were so thin. So at that point, you're then looking to do that. You then have to have a look at the doors, because fitting the doors, all of that.
I only gave you one door.
Yeah, and so on and so on.
And I get you needed to find a door, find a wing, or both wings, I think.
I've actually got wings in my garage, so I could have brought those in for you, but...
But yeah, there was just loads of bits on it that were missing, and all sorts of other stuff. A lot of the interior was missing. We'd have had to source all that. It's just expensive, and it's just not really something that, with the new workshop and with all this sort of expense that's going on, I just don't want to put it into this car. If it was all mine, if it was totally my car, it might be a different story. And if I wasn't going to be using it for the purpose I am, but I don't want to burden Alid with the cost of this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to be, he's my best mate. I don't want to be ringing him up at the end of the month when you need a bill going, right, can you send me $2,000? It's one of those things. It's been a great learning curve for me. It was a car that we decided that we'll do this together. We'll have a great time, and for the first, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months, we would go down regularly and work on it. We stripped it down, we started all the bits, and it just got to the point where when I was free, he wasn't free, and when he was free, I wasn't free, and because we're so busy doing our own things, we could never meet in the middle to work on the car, and that's how it would be. So, yeah.
And I would always say this is exactly why we start every appointment with an inspection, because it allows you, fair enough. Someone once said to me, the inspections are great because they're the best bit of money you'll spend, because spending money now means that you're not spending it 6 months down the line when another horrible surprise pops up. You have a really good idea what all the surprises are that are coming for you when you do this. And
you do it really in depth, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not
we go right through it.
Because if you'd have just started at one corner and gone, right, well, this bit here needs replacing, so we'll replace that and charge you.
Yeah.
I might think it just needs that, and then you go, oh no, actually it's this sill. Oh, we'll do the sill. Oh, actually it's the other sill. Oh, it's the B pillar, it's the A pillar, it's the back, it's the floor. By the time you could bankrupt me just by going through it. Yeah. So you do it like, if as a service, get your car inspected here. If you're thinking about restoring your car, maybe bring it up, let you guys have a look.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We can book people in. I mean, we've got a lot of work booked in at the moment. We've got months ahead of all sorts, because we don't just do your British stuff, we do absolutely everything, and we do all the rare stuff. We'll do anything. Stuff looks like it's dredged from the bottom of the Titanic, like your poor traveller, right up to just finishing off. We've got a beautiful minivan in at the moment, and we're just doing the final finishing touches on that.
Nice.
So we can do it at every stage. But again, whatever stage you land at, we do this initial report, because it means, and I think it's something that's so valuable in this industry, because so many people worry they're going to be ripped off. You go into it with your eyes open, because somebody says to you, this is what it's going to cost, estimated, providing we don't find anything else, God willing, and then you get to decide what happens. Do you want to take your car away, no hard feelings, or do you want to push on, get part of it done? Do you want to get half of it done now, half of it done next year? We can do everything. So we bend to people's tolerances.
You've got the space here, and it is important to mention, you did just say, one of the options you gave me was, we can do a bit of work on the car every month. So you're not just sort of going flat out on that car and then I'm hit with a big bill at the end of the month.
Yeah.
You can just do a chunk each month, or as you just said then, you could do half now and half later, that sort of stuff. So there is a lot of ways around it. Again, if you do need work doing on your car, don't be afraid to go and get it done. But I think with places like here, just having a proper idea written down, just like physically sort of gone through everything, rather than just taking it somewhere where they go, oh yeah, we'll do that for you, we'll sort that out, we'll get round to that for you, you know. And it's better to just have something a bit laid out, you know. There's no discrepancies here. You know, it is what it is.
No.
You can't, in 6 months' time, you've still got this bit of paper, can't you? And when you go, you need that, and I go, oh, you didn't tell me that, you can go, yeah, I did, it's there. Yeah. You know, so all this sort of thing. But
it's very rare that I land someone with a surprise after we've done one of these. It'll only be because it was something that wasn't visible until we took a panel off. So we've just done somebody's inner wings. Now, until those wings, so it was where the wing joined the body and you couldn't see behind the panel. Until that came off, we didn't know what was behind that, but the rest of it we knew and we were able to say. And so when you're only planning for a small surprise like that, it's not too bad. But I mean, I've been stung in the past by garages and you think,
absolutely,
well, not ready for it.
When I was, before I was doing YouTube, I was doing customer work on cars, and you potentially all know the story about the L200 fuel tank, but having this sort of thing, I didn't really do. I didn't give people sort of full reports for their cars and stuff. And had I done that, I would have probably saved myself a lot of hassles, really, with customers, you know, who go, can you just do these patches on my sills? And I've started to go in and the inner sill's rotten, or like this is gone. Oh, it's just needed for an MOT. It's like, yeah, but I can't, I've got nothing to weld to, you know. It's all those conversations you have just avoided by doing this. So. And sadly, it does mean that the Traveller is going to be used to keep other cars on the road.
However, for all the people out there that think that you should just pile all the money into it, there are so many cars out there that would not be on the road if people like yourselves didn't say, right, enough is enough. Like, I've just benefited from a scrap car myself because I don't make Morris Minor boot lids anymore. I needed one.
There you go.
Because a car at some point has been scrapped, I now have a boot lid and my car will carry on living. So you can't save every single car. You can't. You're better off putting into the ones that can be. Yeah,
and there is plenty of stuff on that car that can be used, or just, you know, I don't know what we spent on it, but probably a couple of grand, something like that, just in bits. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm very grateful to you for having a look through it. And it's nice that I've got this as well, so when me and Alan are in the pub and we start talking about it, I can go, well, you know, just have a look at that again, and I'll go, oh yeah, I didn't think about that, yeah. I was like, just looking at the parts list there, it's a lot.
I would like to say as well that most of the parts we sourced, people talk about there being no industry in this country, a lot of those parts are UK made, vast majority are.
Yeah, everything there. And it's like, you know, one of the things, if the car was in better condition, and say you'd have come to me and said, it just needs, you know, that much doing, great, carry on, you know, and then but because every bit of that car is so bad, there's not really anything to go on, is there? You have to do the whole thing.
Yeah, and I actually think it's commendable as well, and it shows real care for your employees that you weren't just saying, right mate, budget and we'll go. You've said, no, actually, let's invest properly, put people in a safe car, and when that's not been possible, you've said, actually, we'll take a step back and we won't use that car, and I think that's commendable.
Well, as I said, it's not just my car, so I have to be like that. But if it was my car, better believe I would just be checking a bit of filler over 90% of that thing and sending it down the highway. No, I wouldn't really. But maybe some bits. But yeah, it's not all my car. I can't make the decision to just do a welding patch here, or just put a bit of filler over that, or we'll fiberglass that hole. You know, I can't really do that. If it was my own car and I was using it myself and I just wanted to like fly about in it, there's a lot of place for just doing a little fiberglass repair here and there, because those cars that have had that little fiberglass, you know, bit here and there, you're now restoring. You know, these cars have survived all those years because people in the garages have done a little MOT patch, or they've done a little fiberglass job, or they've done something, and if they hadn't done that, the car would have been scrapped and we wouldn't have it now. But now we've got them because they were just kept going over the line, just a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. So there is a lot of, you know, it's good to do that, but in something that was going to be quite an asset to our bar, and for everybody to drive, yeah, it's not that car.
No, you're better off going for that one I sent you, because it's 80% done. It just needs the electrics doing. You can get that done in not too long.
I have got that Metro van though, haven't I? So there's potential I might be using that Metro van, which is why I've sort of made this decision as well. But we'll see, don't know.
Yeah.
You've seen the Metro van, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
I mean, that's in much better condition,
Yeah.
and much easier to restore. Because one of the things about these Travellers as well is they are quite complicated, aren't they?
Yes and no. There's a fantastic book out there that you can get on Amazon, and it tells you how to fit the wood, and a lot of people have followed it. Matt Tompkins from Practical Classics restored his Traveller with the aid of that book, and won the Golden Spanner at the NEC many years ago, and it's still on that wood kit, it's still running. So
nice.
I think, well, a lot of people have followed that book, and I think actually it doesn't take too much to do if the car that you're starting off with has good foundations.
Well, that's the problem with like this one. When I was looking at the B pillars specifically, the main bit of the B pillar is wood, isn't it? So you're sort of, you can't, and then everything goes from that. And if that's not perfectly in the right position and in the right, it's going to mess everything else up.
Yeah.
So we had to get this bit right first.
I think it is. A lot of people don't realise that the wood is actually structural on the car, and you see these absolute rotters that are out, and you think one bad shunt and you're gone.
Yeah.
It does frighten me a bit when I see some of them at shows, and the wood is almost, like blue tack, and you can push it.
I wouldn't want to have a crash in a Morris Traveller.
Oh, I have. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Front or back?
Back.
Wow.
Yeah, we had one many years ago, myself and an ex-partner, and this stupid woman went into the back of it, just took the tow bar, it was gone, but the rest of the car was absolutely fine.
Was the wood all right? Everything okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was rot that killed the wood on that, not another driver. But a Morris Minor in an accident, I've seen them from the front, the back, the side, they're great.
Yeah.
So much better than many other 60s cars.
Fair dues.
I mean, mine,
as I said, there is a lot of structure to them. You compare it to like a Metro, there's not a lot inside the arches, and it's, there's like one panel there, then the arch, then the inside panel, whereas the Traveller, there's quite a lot of layers before you sort of get into it,
Yeah.
But there we are. Anyway, should we have one last look at the thing?
Yeah, go on then.
So there you go. There's loads of like good bits, isn't there? There's that. No, that's not good. There's that. No, that's not good. Oh, there's that. No, that's not good either.
There's an engine and gearbox that can be rebuilt, and they'll help keep cars on the road for hundreds of miles ahead.
Absolutely. And that Morris badge in the middle of the steering wheel, that's in pretty good nick, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we're scratching around for bits here.
Goodbye, old friend. I hope you do keep some other cars on the road. It was fun to sort of have you knocking about, and it helped me learn, give me a bit more of an insight into the depths of car restoration and like how bad things can be. And yeah, this is pretty bad. So thanks very much for watching this update. I hope you all understand my decision-making process. And if you have a car that needs any work doing, or if you just need some parts, like another reason I'm here today is to pick up all the parts for the Austin A40, which you should have seen in the Daimler video. But yeah, if you've got a car that needs doing, speak to Steph, ADO Restoration, get your car in here, get it all looked at. If you want to spend the money, it could look like this Mini here. And at the end of it, you could have a very nice classic car. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.